Hi everybody. It's me, Jennifer from Little Metal Foxes, and I'm going to be joined by Helen live from London. So give her a second to get signed on here. Today we're going to be talking about using things that help you prevent tarnish on your work, and ways that you can store and travel with the work and keep it from tarnishing as well. So, oh, I see Helen. Yeah, let's see if we can get her to, go live with us. There we go. Yeah, here we go. Say hi to Helen, live from London. Where is she? Here she is. Hey, hi, how are you doing?
Hello. I'm good. How are you?
I am so good. I love your new tiara.
Oh, isn't that great? It's
So good.
like a perfect addition
It's so
to
good. I need one so bad.
the unicorn horn.
Oh my gosh. It's got little drippy diamonds hanging from it.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That is awesome.
I rarely buy souvenirs, but this was a souvenir from the Tower of London and the crown jewel. Is that a good, by the way?
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
That is awesome.
You want to talk about some honking stones over there? Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. I'm looking forward to seeing all that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So today, Helen, we're going to talk about some how to prevent polish on your tiara, and, among other things. Yeah. So, but first, I wanted to say I had posted this yesterday. What? Metalsmith Society.
I actually signed up today, so I'm gonna see about going through the shops and buying some little goodies because I was jealous. I want my own.
Oh, she's got some good swag, first of all, but
yeah, she does.
Some of her enamel pins. But Corky does an amazing job of posting all kinds of helpful tips and is an amazing person to follow. So if you don't follow Metalsmith Society on Instagram, do it. And I found that we can support her on Patreon, which I think is awesome. She is lovely and is currently writing a project book as well for jewelry. So really excited about that. So that'll be coming out soon.
Nice.
And Simon doesn't need to be working with the flex shaft. Thank you.
The working dog.
He's so helpful. Yes, today's the day to work with the flex shaft. So yeah, no, I'm really excited about my new enamel pins. Metalsmith Society, they're there.
Oh, they're so cute.
I know, aren't they?
I love ravens, and those are just great.
Love that. Okay, yeah. So one of the questions, one of our students had asked me recently, and we got a request for this, to do Amanda Green. Hi, Amanda. And so we got a request from Amanda, and she asked what kinds of things that we would recommend for preventing tarnish from forming on your metal, as well as
storing them.
Storing it, because she wanted to know, what kind of things that she could do. She was doing a lot of shows and stuff outside, and wanted to make sure she kind of had a way to protect the work and prevent it from happening, so she wasn't having to dip it and clean it and do that, all the time, every time she, took it out of the box. So there are some good long-term solutions for storing your jewelry and your findings and your metal before you work on it. There are ways to store it and protect it after you've made it that are really helpful. And some of them are really simple solutions, and some of them are misleadingly simple because they may do more damage than good. So I wanted to kind of talk about some of those things first, because I know that a lot of people see these as sort of a quick fix. So one of the things I know a lot of people sort of do is use the like the water softener, hot water, and tin foil, and that and dips like like little silver dips like that are great for removing tarnish. However, they are etching the surface and removing some of the metal. And sometimes if you leave them in there too long, or if you do it often, it can actually start to pit the metal because it's actually, eating some of the metal away. So you want to be careful. I mean, if you're, doing your grandmother's silver and you want to sort of dip it really quickly or clean that stuff really quickly, or big trays, that can be, a great solution, because it's really hard to get all the nooks and crannies clean when you're doing that. So something like, a dip, or like the big turkey roaster aluminum pan with the like water softener and hot water, you dip the trays, you dip all your grandmother's silver in there, and it all comes out sparkling clean. So that can be a great way to do like a massive amount of big stuff. However, for a lot of times with things like smaller pieces and jewelry that's, one of a kind parts, and it can be a gentle way to go, but it is going to over time start to etch those pieces. So you do want to be a little bit careful about that. Sometimes if I've got, some chain that's gotten a little tarnished, sometimes I'll use a little bit of like this with some cotton swabs and just run it up, rinse it off, and, and have it clean really quickly. But you do want to be careful how often you do that, because of the pitting and the fact that it is removing some metal, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, but dips and things, are a good quick solution. However, I think that one of the things that happens when you use those is it's opening it up to tarnishing more quickly. And because it's sort of removing some of the oxide layer, and that can expose more dendrites, which creates more opportunity for tarnish. So I have a feeling that it may actually cause them to tarnish more quickly. So one of the things that you can do is prevent the tarnish from forming in the first place. And tarnish is the natural progression of metal as it ages, because it wants to, it's just how it's reacting to the atmosphere. And depending...
there's chemical exchange going on at the molecular level.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens is, I mean, when I was down in Savannah, you couldn't keep silver for anything. It would turn black, within a week, because they had a paper mill there. So if you're like near a paper mill or something that's, putting out a whole lot of like sulfur into the air and other chemicals into the air, you're going to find your silver is going to turn black real quick. So, it just depends on, the atmosphere that you're in. And what the silver's exposed to, or your metal's exposed to, but it is kind of the natural progression of metal to do that. Silver, and especially copper, has like this free electron, and it's always trying to find another free electron a partner to sort of grab onto, and it's carbon thirsty, copper is, and it wants to grab onto carbon. But if carbon's not available, the second closest thing is going to be oxygen. So it's going to grab onto the oxygen particles and create oxides on the surface. So it's something that you can prevent by limiting the atmosphere around the pieces in one of a couple of ways. Using little plastic bags that are pH neutral for like preventing tarnish. Not all plastic bags are created equal, Helen.
I know. I'm lucky because I just reuse all my Rio bags, and I didn't realize that they were staying clean basically because I was using my Rio bags.
Exactly, right. So Rio does use like anti-tarnish bags or pH neutral bags. And one of the things that they've started doing recently, which I really am happy about, is the ones that have sort of a green strip across the top, or a little green line across the top, are a more biodegradable plastic than the other. So it will biodegrade more rapidly than regular plastic bags, and they're anti-tarnish as well. So it's kind of a good way to store stuff. And if you've got pieces that are complete that you want to keep clean, if you've got metal you want to store, that can be a good way to do it. The problem with some plastics is that they will, some of them are gas permeable, so the atmosphere can penetrate them. The other thing is some of them will off gas, VOCs, that can tarnish your metal, very quickly. So, things like it's really kind of funny because I've had pieces that I've gotten from Rio that the bag is fine, but they'll put a sticker on it, and the
Oh.
sticker is like paper, and the paper will off gas sulfur. And so you've got a sticker on the bag paper will off gas like crazy if it's not
Yeah.
a pH neutral or anti-tarnish impregnated.
Acid free, which is one of the things I was going to say later, but I'll say it now.
Mm-hmm.
Acid free mat board.
Yes.
So my sister was in framing for 30 plus years, so I know acid free mat board is like awesome. And it occurred to me last night when we were talking.
Yeah.
That might be something that you can use to I don't know if it will help if you insert it in your bag, but it would also help if you were displaying your pieces.
Yes.
That if you were on the acid free mat board, then it's not adding anything to the work.
Yeah, in fact, that was one of the other things I was going to mention is using things like archival storage boxes for things like photography.
Yeah.
So I actually started in printmaking and photography, and we'll use pH neutral, acid free archival boxes like this that prevent, because black and white photography is silver nitrate on the surface, and so so you want to keep it from changing, and having something that's acid free that is an archival way of storing things like photographs is going to be great for things like silver and metal, because it's going to keep it nice and safe. So you can get stuff like this from your art supply places, from photo supply places, and I'm sure you can buy them online. I usually get them here locally from the art supply place, and they're not terribly expensive. But this can be a great way to store the stuff and transport it, and cut down some of the acid-free mat board and sort of layer your work on that, and that really will help keep it a lot cleaner. These can be stored in a larger box, that's able to be transported to things like shows. But while it's sitting, and just being stored, that's going to be a great solution for preventing that kind of tarnish from happening as quickly. It's still going to happen. It's still happening all the time, but it will definitely slow it down quite a lot. The other thing I would recommend are things like anti-tarnish strips. And anti-tarnish strips you can add to bags, you can add to your storage boxes, and this one's from Shine On. And these will usually last about 4 to 6 months in the bag, and you can date it and change them out when they expire. You can also get things like an activated charcoal tabs that are very expensive. I think you can buy them by the 1,000 from Rio, and they're just like a little black tab, and you probably have seen them with all kinds of stuff. They usually show up in all kinds of things, but you can even use
maybe not a silica gel, but like a little packet that looks like that.
Yeah. And the silica gels, if you've got like a bigger box, you can use like those little things of silica gel to just absorb any excess moisture that's around it. Yeah. So that can help. But you do want to be careful that you are, using a pH neutral, acid free storage unit that is, really good for preventing those oxides from forming. Julia Lowther, our other little fox, was saying yesterday that from places like Michael's and Joann Fabrics, you can actually get art bin storage containers that have an anti-tarnish dividers in them. So for storing,
I'm kind of excited about that.
Yeah, me too. I was like, what? Thank you, art bin. So they have like little dividers in them that are great for preventing tarnish. So the plastic is probably an acid-free plastic that they're using, and but the dividers themselves are an anti-tarnish divider. So way to go, way to go, art bin. The other one, what was the other one? It was there was another company as well.
Was it Hartley? No, what was the cloth manufacturer?
There's Haggerty.
But
there's another company that makes the dividers.
That was Z-Rust or something like that?
Yes, it was Z-Rust. That's it. So Z-Rust has has the anti-tarnish dividers. So if you go to like Joann Fabrics and places like that, you can find those storage bins from like Art Bin and places like that. The other option is something like, you would find your, grandmother's silver in, or like Haggerty's bags like these, which are impregnated with an anti-tarnish material. So they are chemical. So these things are super soft, so they prevent scratching and messing up of the metal. So these are great little bags from Haggerty. Haggerty, there it is. And they are fantastic for polishing as well. But you can actually buy the anti-tarnish cloth by the bolt. Yeah, so you can buy it in yards and bolts, and yeah, you can actually use it to line the drawers that you're storing things with. You can create pouches for things that you're sort of wrapping things in. So you can kind of sew a packet, so you can hang your necklaces in there neatly and pull them out easily for things like shows. But they're fantastic for preventing the tarnish from forming. And you just want to be careful that you're not adding something like tickets, labels, tags, paper, things that are going to off gas in the bag. Yeah. So I know a lot of people that tag their work and stick it in their bag, and it's like the tag is like off gassing like crazy, and they're like, why aren't these bags working? It's like the bag's working, but it's fighting with the tag you put in there. So you do have to be a little bit careful about stuff like that. There is another solution that some people like to go with, and that's actually sealing the work with a dip or with wax or with a spray to prevent the surface from being exposed to anything. And
like Renaissance wax?
Yeah, like Renaissance wax. And Renaissance wax, there it is a microcrystalline wax polish. And there are other waxes we would use for like larger vessels. Renaissance wax is great. It melts at like body temperature, and you can rub it on the surface of things like vessels to prevent the patina from changing too terribly much. It will shorten the wavelength that's going through it. So if you have something like a patina on a piece of copper that you just love that's really delicate, you have to be really careful about rubbing it and touching it, because it can actually rub it off. So something like an acrylic matte medium spray can actually sort of help fix things like the Verde greens and things like that on copper. But anything that you're applying to the surface, like a wax or a sealant, is going to shorten the wavelength. So if you've got like a good rainbow effect going on, it'll shorten the wavelength of how the light's going through, and so it'll deaden the full range of the rainbow that you're seeing a little bit. Okay. So
good to know.
But if you're just wanting to keep copper clean, Renaissance wax, spray sealants like an acrylic spray sealant. Rio makes a good one that is like it's good for some jewelry, because it's like a thinned down fingernail polish, and you can like paint it on or dip it in. The problem that I have with some of those is that, especially like clear nail polish types of things, is that they can actually, over time, sometimes they can yellow and peel like a nail polish would. So you do need to be a little bit careful.
Like varnish on a painting.
Yeah, exactly. So you do need to be a little bit careful about those things. And the other thing we would use was like future floor wax, because we would thin it down and you could dip it in, and you would get like a high shine on the piece, but it would seal it, completely. So there are some things out there that are great, but just look for solutions that are going to be, pH neutral, acid free. Things that are archival for things like photographs are going to be great for things like jewelry. Ways to transport it, make it easy. And, you can even, make yourself your own storage solutions using pH neutral boxes and Haggerty's material or anti-tarnish material. So, yeah.
It's so cool. I'm so glad that Julia found that to where at least on Amazon and other places. So it's not just on Amazon.
Yeah.
But that you can get it by the yard. So that's really cool.
Yeah, a lot of specialty fabric places will carry like the anti-tarnish cloth that you can buy. So you can check it, your local fabric stores, and places like Joann Fabrics, and some of them may be able to even order it special for you if you're looking for something like that. So you can check that out as well. So yeah, just keep it fresh and keep it from tarnishing as quickly. But yeah, that'll definitely help to prevent the tarnish from forming so quickly and keep things clean. And there you go. So that's what I got. The other thing, actually, real quick, that I love, that's kind of new. So sunshine cloths, people have had around for forever, and you can get polishing wheels in sunshine cloth, and these are basically the anti-tarnish impregnated stuff. So these are really great for cleaning and just having on hand if you need to remove a little bit of tarnish. They now make one for those of you that do things that are satin finished. A satin finish sunshine cloth. I love this thing. So it's kind of got like, I think it's got like a pumice or something on one side, and then it has like on pumicey stuff on one side.
Oh, it's a pink one.
And yep, so it's pink.
I got a sample of that at Snag in Portland.
Yeah, so it's pink on one side and kind of lavender on the other. And the pink side has a little bit of I think it's like a pumice that's in it, but it allows you to do a really nice satin finish, and then it has the softer side as well. But what I found is that if I have a little bit of tarnish or a little fire scale or something like that, I can rub it down a little bit with the satin one, and then take the sunshine cloth to it, and it removes like minor scratches and minor little doodads on the surface because it's so fine. So yeah, so sunshine cloths and the satin sunshine cloth, and this one is from Rio. So yeah, sunshine satin. There you go. So another great option. And I know that Sunshine actually makes a spray that you can use with like a microfiber cloth. And so there's all kinds of great ways to like clean it, but preventing it is one of the best ways to do that. Right?
Very, very cool.
Yeah. So there you go. So I've got my Metalsmith Society pins I'm going to put on today. And yeah.
Yay.
So we've got a couple of fun classes coming up.
We do. Let me pull up the website just real quick. I was not prepared. What else? Little metal boxes.
Yeah. So if you're wanting to just sort of buff something up real quick, you can use like a sunshine wheel on your flex shaft, and that'll like buff it up. Or they even make them for buffing units as well. So make them in different sizes. Yeah.
So you have recycling scraps and alloys.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's a really useful thing to learn so that you can take all your scrap and make your own metal. So you can, well, not make your own metal, but you can reuse it.
Well, I'm going to show them how to make their own alloys too.
Yeah.
So doing things like making shibuichi and shakudo, and but recycling your fine silver and sterling silver is real easy, and extending your silver by doing things like making alloys like shibuichi, which is copper and silver, but little graphite ingot molds like these are fantastic because you can make your ingot and then hammer it down or mill it down and make your own recycled metal, and there's all kinds of cool ways to do that. So
wire or whatever.
Yeah. So we're going to be doing that coming up. What else we got on board? You're going to be teaching a glass fusing class. I
am. And so right now it's geared to just getting some basic information about how to do it. If you have an enameling kiln, that's perfect. Even if you have a clay kiln, you can still do it. You just have to make sure you have a pyrometer, and you'll have to watch it. But because it doesn't go over like I think cone 05 or 06. I think my brother-in-law is actually on, and so he could tell me if I'm getting the wrong temperature. So it's about 1500 degrees.
Right.
And
so if you're using like a casting kiln or an enameling kiln, that'll work.
Yeah, exactly. And then so the only I'm gonna make it really simple. So you make a coaster, a small plate, like a ring dish or something like that. Or we can even do like a little sun catcher or ornament, something really simple. Mm-hmm. So it's really a lot of fun. I love the beauty of glass when it's got light going through it, and there's so many things, even with your what's called accessory glass, your frit, your stringer, your rods. There's so much stuff that you can do.
Well, and so many ways you can make things like you're going to do one later on for cabochons, right?
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they've got some specialty stuff you can do with silver foil and copper foil and get some really special effects. So it's really pretty neat, you know, when you dive into that, and actually, and using dichroic glass.
Right.
Dichroic glass, I know, is really nice and eye-catching. It really pops. And like Jean Schaefer does her own. She uses her enamel kiln to make her dichroic pieces, her glass pieces for her jewelry, and she does such a great job. It is, if you've got a kiln, you're in like Flint. And if you don't, you can probably find somebody locally who might, you know, let you sneak something in for a firing.
Oh, that might, yeah, absolutely. So if you have like a ceramic thing near you, or, ceramic places are, you know, if you can be like, yeah, I've got some things I need to put in the kiln, that can be, if you know what temperature.
Sure, they're doing a low fire kiln.
Yeah, if you know what temperature, do you use a torch with glass is one of the questions.
You cannot really with glass, because unless it's really small, only because of the way glass is structured internally. If you don't control the heating and the cooling, it will create internal stresses and it'll eventually break.
Right.
It may not break right away, it may not crack right away, but some point down the line it'll break on its own.
Yeah.
And I've actually had that happen to me in some of my pieces. So I know.
Well,
then you just put it back in the kiln, you refuse it. And
Well, Lyreworks. Hi there. Lyreworks, I love your work so much. So wanted to know where the graphite ingot molds come from. I got these off Amazon, and these came with like a little set, and they came with the carbon stirring rods, which I use for alloying and casting and everything else. So they were not very expensive. They are on the supply list on our website, so you can see the link to them there, and that'll get you connected right away. One of the things that we do on our website is actually post the links and supplies right up front. So if you're interested in taking a class, right, so you can see it all beforehand. You can see if there's any books or materials or things beforehand. And if you want to just you're like, I need that ingot mold, there are links to it. So you can find those there, right?
And there's actually one thing I need to add, which I don't necessarily recommend, but if you want to try it, go for it. Because I've heard good and bad about the microwave kilns. So it's something that you can take your glass, all pieces of glass, and they're tiny, and you can put them in your microwave. Now, I would be careful and maybe buy a cheap microwave. You know, it's going to be cheaper than a regular kiln, but, so in case, if you're using a metal coated glass, like dichroic or iridized glass, you're not, killing the microwave, your regular kitchen microwave, but they do have microwave kilns, and I've never used them, but, that's something you could try.
Something to experiment with.
It's worth investigating. Yeah.
So,
especially if you,
so a friend just
small scale.
Friend just signed on, and I want to say, hola.
Oh, yeah.
Hola. So, yes, we are, got more classes coming up, so please do check in with our schedule and see. We've got Studio Sparks is going to be back on the schedule. We've got hi Chris,
electro etching.
There we go. Hi Chris, Lion Punch Forge. We're going to be doing, speaking of Chris from Lion Punch Forge, we're going to be adding the Lion Punch Forge graver adapter and hammer hand piece class back onto the schedule coming up before the end of the year, so we'll have that. Stay tuned for a whole bunch of classes that are going to be listed next week. So, fall
schedule.
Yeah, exactly. Our winter schedule is going to be coming up here soon, so keep an eye out for that.
We have drawing with AJ as well coming up on the 11th.
Yeah, so
and then also electro etching.
Right.
Yeah,
electro
etching. You're sticking and stones.
Electro etching is coming
electro etching. You really, if you have not taken that class with Julia, you really need to take that.
It's great.
I was
great by itself.
Oh, man.
Great in combination with enameling. It's got all kinds of possibilities. So yeah, love it. Love it. All right. Well, cool. Well, it's great to see you, Helen.
Oh, good to see you too. And what kind of fire did you make, Chris?
Oh, Chris is making fire somewhere.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a lovely kind of English day today. It's been raining on and off all day. And oh, there's the Simon dog.
Simon dog. Oh, squishy face.
He's so sweet. I know. I miss his squishy face.
Yes, he's a good guy. He's a happy dog today. He's going to be going to work and at Baleen with me, and so yeah, he's happy.
Yeah.
All right.
You're going to get in his sunspot.
Yeah, exactly. His little sunspot in the window. All right, you guys. Stay tuned next week for more Tooltip Tuesdays, and be safe, make some great stuff, and stay creative. And we will see you later. So bye, Helen. Bye.
Bye.